lot of people in our town and a lot of people that use our nighttime community, and so why should we not be engaging with them as a church? And this was a wonderful opportunity to be out and amongst those sorts of people. We have 2 teams. One will be out on the street, a team of 4, and there'll be 3 of us here in St Mary's in what we call the hub.
Now, we spoke about the kinds of people that you see coming in, because this is the church and you ensure that it's open for the whole duration of the session.
Absolutely.
Tell me why you think that's important.
There's a lot of people who are very surprised to find the church is open in the town at 11 o'clock at night on a Friday night, but actually find it a place of sanctuary, a place they want to come into, a place that they are surprised to be able to come into. And they come in with a sense of peace as well, and because they're also aware that they are able to talk and meet with people about whatever it is that's on their mind.
If you could sum up one of the most important things that street pastors have done here in Billericay, and I know that's a big ask, what would it be?
It's a massive ask. We've impacted people in ways that we never expected. We've been running since November last year, so we're relatively new to the street pastor idea, and we're still finding out how things work, but it's the ability of the church to be seen to be in and amongst the people in the town. People ask us, they never ask us, are you Christians? They say, are you from the church? And it's a pleasure to be able to say, yes, we are. And we're not from one particular church, but we're from churches right across the town. Multi-denominational. It's a great team of people to work with, and it's a pleasure to work with them.
We've got a fantastic relationship with all of the churches across the town. So we've got Baptists, we've got people from the United Reformed Church, people from the Methodist Church, we've got people from CGC, Billericay, and all the other churches, the names of which I've temporarily forgotten, but they are all represented. And churches together in Billericay is fantastic.
I'm so encouraged by that, because I think the strength of God's kingdom is when we come together and unite and do such a good thing. Now, you and I were talking earlier, and you said there is a wonderful question that you love to ask about 12:30 in the early hours of the morning.
12:30, 1 a.m, particularly outside the ivory rooms. And the question is, how's life? And I tend to find that there's always at least one person, normally someone who's hurting, who wants to talk and wants someone to listen. And the gift of being able to listen and then enter into a conversation is just quite amazing.
Why do you think God being part of this story is so important? What's the difference between us going out there just as good people helping and God's people helping? What do you think the difference is?
Well, as you know, everyone who's a street pastor is a Christian, and people in our town have very, very quickly picked that up. We're from the church, we're from the churches, we're all Christians. And people are very, very quickly realising that we are a group, a team who listen. And so the people of our town realise, if they didn't know already, that seems to be part of being a Christian, and we want to represent God in that. Being something that I think we find really helpful is where we're encouraged in the Bible to be quick to listen and slow to speak, and that's ever so important as a street pastor.
What was the one thing that made you say, I need to do this?
I went to one of the sessions that Phil, Noisy Phil, who is our coordinator, did at our church, Emmanuel. And I was motivated by his call to get more people into the pastoring team. And so I already felt that call then. But one of my close friends at church had already started on the servitude to going into pastoring, and she said, look, I enjoyed the first session so much, come to the second session, you'll enjoy it. She wasn't certain I would say yes, but I did, and I just fell in love with it. And then God grabbed me and said, you are doing this.
We were about halfway through our training, and I said to Phil, rather apologetically, I can't walk very far and I can't stand for very long. Is it okay if I use a mobility scooter? And he said, I think that's fantastic, because then when people say they can't be a street pastor because they've got an ingrowing toenail, I can point to you.
Fantastic. What's the reaction out on the streets?
I've been offered a fortune to give people lifts home.
Really?
Yeah. Happens every time we're out, probably.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I wouldn't have enough battery to get there and back, so I have to decline.
Yeah.
I don't think people, they look past it. They're used to me now. The only thing is that if I'm out in the high street during the day, people say hello to me, and I don't really know who they are, but they recognise me because of the scooter.
Because of the scooter.
So, yeah, I've met a few people that I probably wouldn't have met, without it.
Jane, tell me about the reason you decided to sign up as a street pastor.
Well, that's easy really. When for some years I was involved with schools ministry. I was in Billericay. There's a group called SMB that is interdenominational, but it's a charity now that goes into all the schools in Billericay and takes RE lessons and lunchtime clubs and forges relationships with the young people. And I've been involved in that since 1998. So when I heard that Street Pastors was starting up in Billericay, it just seemed a natural progression.
If I could ask, where you've seen God, just tell me about God's grace, what you have personally seen. Where have you seen God's grace, Maggie?
It's difficult because it's with us all the time. I think partly the way people react to us. I happened to be on the first patrol that went out, and we very gingerly went up the high street, sort of half smiling at people, and we were getting some funny looks. And then the following week, people were coming up to us and saying hello. And the way we've been received in the town has been amazing, and it couldn't have happened without God's grace.
Thank you, Maggie.
Jesus said that you love the Lord your God with all your passion and prayer and muscle and intelligence, and that you love your neighbour as well as you do yourself. And that's what we do tonight, don't we?
Yeah.
When we go out on the street, we are praying and we are working with people because we love them as our neighbour. So I'd like us to pray now for that.
Can you tell me, what do you think of the street pastors?
It's weird to they're good people, see them about.
So are they getting a bit of a reputation for being the good guys and girls?
Yeah, I think so, because when I was talking to him, I was like, what do you do? Because I thought they were here to, stop people from causing trouble and stuff. He was like, no, we're just here to help people, kind of thing. Well, yeah, it's pretty good.
I've been making a video blog about the street pastors in Billericay. This is an organisation of volunteers who come together from all the denominations in Billericay. It's been a real privilege to hear the influence that they're having in this area. It's not because there's anything going on particularly untoward, it's people having a good time. But we've also heard that sometimes this good time is masking some deeper sadness. If you've been thinking about whether you should become a street pastor or not, think no more. It's a wonderful organisation that will train you. You'll have such a wonderful time. The details will be at the bottom of the screen, telephone number or website. Just have a word with your local church in Billericay. My name's Mina Smallman and I'm the Archdeacon of Southend. Very proud that this is happening in my archdeaconry.